Hello, I'm Sophiralou and welcome to my channel.
Hello guys and welcome to my second YouTube artist collective piece, and this time the theme was steampunk. I had a lot of fun with this. I overthink it definitely, well, overthought really, English, but I really enjoyed doing this. I think in the end I went for something that I was really happy with, and I'm really proud of how the final piece came out. So I was just showing you the sketches and like my rough ideas, and this I'm now going to go into the actual piece. So before anyone asks, I'm going to explain what equipment I've used here. I have used the Rowney Mixed media pad, my Windsor and Newton walnut ink, my Kuretake mangaka Zig cartoonist nib in its pen holder. I've used my polychromos pencils, Letraset Pro markers, Windsor and Newton watercolours, the Cotman range, and of course I've used my Frisk masking fluid in blue. So that's my full list of equipment. There will be a list of my equipment down below, as well as my time frame which I did, which if you're including sketching to final piece took 12 hours. The actual piece took 10. I definitely overthought this piece. I think it was because like steampunk is such a broad term that I really struggled with it. And I think it was just because I kind of got into my head like, oh god, what is everyone else gonna do? And I was sketching this out in like August, and I was like, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm really nervous. And I originally was gonna go like proper Alice in Wonderland theme with it, and I was gonna go all nuts, and I was like, no, because you've just done an Alice in Wonderland theme, you cannot do that. And I think like steampunk is almost like a Victorian view of the future, that they thought that everything was going to be powered by steam. So they saw the future as everything was going to be powered by it, and like that's why like some old illustrations you'll see they'll depict everyone having like steam hover cars, and like that was their view. They thought that that's how, you know, electricity before it came about was gonna go. They thought the future was steam. And that's, I think, where steampunk comes from. I may be terribly, completely wrong, but that's my interpretation of it. So my sort of idea with this was a girl who had built herself these mechanical wings, and she's trapped inside a clock tower that she'll never be able to get out. And my sort of idea was that she felt that she wanted to escape. So she's made these wings and she's made these birds all around her, and she just wants to leave where she is, but she can't. So she dreams of being able to see the outside world, which she can see hazily through her clock face. Very convoluted, I know, but it's the kind of thing I thought about when I was doing the piece, and I like to create stories behind my pieces as well. I think the most difficult part in this illustration was doing the words backwards. I never thought about having to do numbers backwards until I did this piece, and I was literally sat there going, I don't know how. Because I did the character design pretty early. I knew exactly what she wanted to wear, and I sort of had this idea of almost a ballerina-esque Victorian design with these giant mechanical wings. And my original thought was I was going to have her face in the camera, almost very close view, holding mechanical birds with like a broken clock face behind her. But I remembered that with my previous YouTube Artist Collective piece, which will be linked down below and at the end of this video, that it was very much an extreme close-up. So I wanted to create a bit more of a background and a full character view sort of piece to try and envelope the entire design. My biggest problem I have is with backgrounds, and I'm trying to get better at them, and I've been practicing them with some of my previous videos. If you haven't seen them, they are on my YouTube channel. They are basically, I call them my mushroom hunters, because they're the little character designs I've done, and I've been practicing organic backgrounds, but I really struggle with industrial backgrounds. And I think that was my biggest fault with this. I wanted to make it all organic, but I couldn't because it's steampunky. I wanted to have the clocks and gears and everything, and I was just like, I just really struggled with it. In the end, with this piece, I ended up going for very warm golden tones, especially for the background, with almost like purpley blue curtains, and tried to make her colours very warm as well. And originally my colour scheme was going to be very different, but I think with the background more colder than the character was, making her warmer, but I felt like it didn't make sense for it to be cold because of the environment. It wouldn't make sense for it to be shiny. It's more organic. Yes guys, that's the Frisk masking fluid. Look how clean it comes off. It's so amazing. Oh yeah, I had to pick up these pens. It said Steampunk. It was like it was made for this challenge. So we will be getting asked questions how to join the collective. As far as I'm aware, there is a requirement of at least 10,000 subscribers and higher, and you have to be a regular uploader. Anyone can take part in the collective. That's absolutely fine, but to be a part of the collective, you need to meet these requirements. It's not like we have special badges or patches or anything. I think it's just so then the collective doesn't get overloaded, because there are so many talented, amazing people out there, and I can guarantee you everyone who has used the YouTube Artist Collective tag on Instagram, on Twitter, and anyone who's posted on the channel, they are on the channel's page on Facebook, they are amazingly talented, and everyone should definitely check out their work. Speaking of everyone in the part of the collective, I will leave a link to their work down below. This was definitely a lot of fun to do, and I want to see your interpretation of steampunk. I know if you've done something that's very similar, if you're drawing something, if you've got a video, let me see it. I want to see your work. I love seeing other people's work. It makes me so excited to see other people draw and be inspired by a simple word. I think what would have been good with this, and I think the reason why a lot of people did struggle with this theme, or a lot of people kind of felt not as motivated, was because it just is steampunk. I think steampunk's a very broad term and it can mean anything, whereas the last one was Wicked Wonderland, where if it was just Wonderland, I don't think I would have been inspired as simply Wicked Wonderland. I think if it was like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a cool theme now, maybe I don't know, like underwater steampunk, or fashionable steampunk, something that would have given the theme a bit more direction, I think it would have been a lot more inspirational, and that's probably why I struggled a lot with this theme, and probably why I definitely overthought it. I think with me, I like to try and pretend that everything I draw has a function. So the reason, yet again, why I've chosen her wings as the focal point in this camera is because I really thought about how they would function. The two gas cylinders at the side hold steam. There's a water tank on the top. There's a temperature gauge on it, and the buttons on front are to control the temperature. And then the wings are powered by steam. I know, I overthink things way too much, but that's the kind of things I think about when I'm drawing, and it's my sort of process behind it. You can see that I kind of like included a very faded cityscape in the background of the clock, and this is my kind of idea behind it. This piece will be for sale. There is a link down below if you're interested in purchasing the original. As with all the YouTube Artist Collectives, we'll all be selling our originals. I will also be doing prints. I'll open pre-orders. It depends how many pre-orders to whether or not I order them quicker rather than later. I've got a lot of conventions coming up at the moment, and I try and order prints as fast as I can, but I can't always order print. With traditional pieces I go for heavier stock, so it does take a while for it to be printed sometimes. So just as a heads up, if anyone does want to print pre-order, it may take a few weeks, so I do apologise about that. But yeah, if you are interested, there will be A4 and A5 prints available when I can get that stock printed, and there will be the original up on there. It will not be framed, unfortunately, like my last one, because it cost me an awful lot to ship, but if you do want tracked shipping, just add it onto the cart down below. So let's get on to the piece again. So you can see what I like to do is I like to base down my colours and then I build up. So my watercolour background was built up with watercolours, and then I built up on top with pro markers to try and get my desired effect. And then with my character, I mainly used pro markers on her to make her stand up against the painted background. And this was because I kind of like to think of it as an still from an animation, like where the backgrounds tend to be very, very painted and very beautiful, and then the characters more 2D shaded. And this is the sort of like thought process I go behind when I'm doing my pieces. And I do apologise for any lighting changes in this. For some reason my lighting just was awful, and I think it was because the weather just kept on going from really bright to really gloomy, and I don't have any special lighting yet. This aqua bronze stuff is beautiful. It takes some getting used to, so don't worry about purchasing it if you don't want to. I do think like pens work just as fine, but you can get this as opaque or as strong as you want depending on how you mix it. It does contain real bronze, so yeah, this painting does have real bronze on it. And it's just because I wanted that little extra touch just to make it shiny, because I like shiny things. I've got a thing for glitter at the moment and it's terrible. So if you guys want to show me your pieces, let me see them. I want to see what your work is. I think you are all amazing and talented, and I want to see what you've been up to. If you have any questions about the piece or anything about the collective, feel free to ask, although the questions are best answered on the Facebook page, as everyone's very active on there. I'm from England, so it takes I'm usually active during like where you guys may be very late at night if you're over in the US, so someone else may be able to answer your question better than I could. But I do hope you guys have enjoyed my progress on the piece and my ramblings. I do tend to talk on very much, and I do apologise. I really, really enjoyed this, and I cannot wait to see what the next collective is. Kind of disappointed we won't be doing one in October, because I really want to do spooky themes, but I'm going to do spooky themes on my videos anyway, so if you want to check that out, feel free to subscribe to my channel. If you've got any stuff that you want to share to me, or if you've got any amazing artwork that you just want to share to the public, or even if you just want to private message me, you can message me on here. You can contact me through Instagram if you want to, a link will be down below, or Twitter. Feel free to contact me. I'm pretty much available all the time, and I'm happy to talk to anyone about art questions. If you want to see more content from me, maybe subscribe to my channel. If you liked this video, leave a like and comment. I thank you all, and as always, stay creative.